about to get a bag. You about to get a bag. No. You about to get a bag. We about to get a bag. We about to get a bag.
We all want to get a bag.
As a general rule, the team that wins the NBA championship has the least stressful offseason in the NBA. And having walked away from the season with the ultimate prize, they have no incentive to fix anything. But in today's video, I'm going to give you a trade between the Golden State Warriors and the Indiana Pacers that benefits both teams. I'm going to put the trade up on the screen right now. Now, it feels crazy to say this, but if the Golden State Warriors did acquire Myles Turner, he'd be the best center they rostered over the course of their dynasty. Now, I don't mean to disrespect Andrew Bogut, but the former #1 pick was good for the Warriors when they first emerged as a powerhouse. Still, his limited athleticism rendered him virtually unplayable for an entire playoff series or even two. Nobody is trying to sell Kevon Looney short. Looney was pivotal during last year's championship run. His ability to defend in space and his willingness to do the dirty work is invaluable to the Warriors. But still, there's a reason why Myles Turner makes more than double his salary. He would be a distinctive upgrade, and he'd give the Warriors a much different look than they've ever had at that position. But can the Indiana Pacers get a haul in return like they did with Tyrese Halliburton? Let's find out why the Golden State Warriors should do this deal. Because it's really hard to believe that the Warriors haven't leaned into a real stretch five during their championship runs. In fact, the Warriors played a key role in revolutionizing the NBA game by slotting Draymond Green at the position for spells at a time. But Green may not be a knockdown shooter, but he does stretch the floor. More importantly, he's allowed the Warriors to pick up their pace at that position. Myles Turner won't necessarily do the same thing that Green does, but with that said, he is a better traditional rim protector than Green. Putting him in drop coverage with Green as a free safety ought to give an already elite Warriors defense a much needed boost. On the offensive end, the Warriors will be able to boast 5-out spacing more regularly with Turner on their roster. Looney will more than likely become the only non-spacer in their regular rotation. That's a terrifying proposition for an offense built around Steph Curry's historic off-ball gravity and Klay Thompson's elite shooting. Sure, the Warriors are mostly quitting on their youth movement right now, but with that said, they should be forming the best team in the NBA in the process. So, why would the Indiana Pacers do this deal? Because if the Warriors are open to giving up on the youth movement, the Pacers should give them a call immediately. After all, they should be all in on theirs. For Indiana, this deal is about potential. They're not getting a first-round pick here, but they're getting 3 players who were very recently selected in the first round. Of course, that understates the return a little. James Wiseman was selected 2nd overall in the 2020 draft. Granted, he's failed to live up to that billing, but he still has potential as a hyper-athletic big man who spaces the floor just a little. He could be better than Myles Turner, even with that vertical. Meanwhile, Patrick Baldwin Jr., who was once seen as a lock to land in the NBA lottery, he slipped to 28th after a disastrous season of college basketball. But he still holds high potential as a 6'10 wing with a sweet shooting stroke. Finally, Moses Moody. He might be the best player in this whole package. He appears to be a 3D wing with secondary playmaking abilities on the side. He's also likely got the highest floor of the group though. With that said, even with one of these 3 hit their ceiling for Indiana, this trade would look great for them in hindsight. Now, I was just going to do one trade, but let's throw in a bonus one. And just in 10 seconds, I'm going to give you that trade. But before we get to it, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel because it allows me to get content to you faster. I'm going to put the trade up on the screen right now. Yes, this is a bold trade. And the Pacers, they would be getting a first-round pick for Miami, plus Duncan Robinson. So if we expand our conversation about Twin Towers, here's a follow-up question. Would the Heat really be assembling a modern one here? Put it differently, is Bam Adebayo really a true center? Sure, he's been playing the position for a while, and he's been out of necessity more than preference. So I'll bet my money on he's a combo big. Adebayo stands roughly 6'9". That's not that tall in this year's NBA. But in the age of small ball, that certainly qualifies him for more minutes at the center spot. But realistically, Adebayo has thrived at the position, so the answer is a yes. He's a 5. So really then, the question is this. Could he be an even better 4? You really have to ask yourself that question. Adebayo has made a name off the ball defensive versatility. his ability to defend the perimeter and protect the rim is super special. So one wonders if he thrives as a free safety alongside a more traditional rim protector, a la Myles Turner. But is he worth a first-round pick for the Heat to find out? Let's see. Consider this a true bet that Bam Adebayo would in fact thrive at the 4, particularly alongside Myles Turner. In fact, Turner may be the perfect big man to facilitate Adebayo's positional change. So that holds true on both the offensive and defensive sides of the floor. On offense, Turner's floor spacing will offset Adebayo's lack of the same. Since Adebayo doesn't really have a shooting stroke, there's no world where he'd be a viable option alongside a traditional big. Luckily, my guy Myles Turner, he's a career 34.9% shooter from beyond the arc. On defense, Adebayo has no weaknesses to offset. Still, he may be maximized alongside a drop coverage big. Adebayo is likely to thrive as a weak side helper and a ridiculous shot blocker, but he can also serve as a switchable perimeter defender. For the Heat, it's definitely worth the gamble in my opinion. Adebayo has the necessary lateral quickness to play the 4, so there's no reasons to think he won't be able to handle it and plenty of reasons to have hope that he exceeds expectations in his new role. But why would the Indiana Pacers take this deal? Typically, the Pacers prefer not to rebuild, but as currently constructed, they might not have a choice. And after all, they just traded Domantas Sabonis to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Tyrese Halliburton at last year's trade deadline. So they ought to push all in on their youth movement ahead of the 2022-2023 season. So from that perspective, you guys, this trade accomplishes 2 goals. It nets the Pacers a first-round pick. That's obvious objective here, as it should be for any rebuilding club. But with that said, it also clears up room for the young big man in Indiana's rotation. Isaiah Jackson, my guy looked like a solid defensive big with a long-term potential in his 2021-2022 rookie season. Meanwhile, the young Jalen Smith, the guy is poised to start at the 4, but the Pacers, they may want to give him some run at the 5 as well. After all, who knows if they want to commit to a Twin Towers look in the long run. So, I can understand your hesitation as Pacers fans about these both trades. Both of them are a little unrealistic, but hey, that's what we're here to do. It's the offseason. And the first one is more than likely to happen than the second with the Miami Heat. But I'm really curious to see what you guys' thoughts are about these trades. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And if you guys want more NBA content, go check out my main channel at Dame Reams. The link will be in the description below. And tomorrow, we'll be back better than ever with some more Indiana Pacers basketball. And like always, Pacers fans, I'll save y'all a seat, baby. Peace.